Good morning, evening, or afternoon. It's your painter in residence, Michael Francis McCarthy. And we're going to make a painting today. Now, I did a start on this. I've got the drawing over there on the drawing rack, but I didn't have the camera focused. And then I was told that they're going to work. Well, they were banging around on the roof behind me. That was distracting, and then I was told that they were going to work on the roof yesterday. So you can say I got my colors pre-mixed, and I do have that recorded. But I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing again. These boards are not expensive. I've just oiled out the. Unfortunately, I left my really nice stubby I was using in the. What is this 3? I didn't clean it. Now, okay, here's a tip. Tips right off the bat. See that stuff? That's your brush and hand cleaner. You don't have to use that brand. You can use any brand. It's a super oily soap is what it is. Now, if you do leave a brush out by mistake, you can try sitting it in some thinner. That isn't gonna. That's gonna break down the brush. What you do is you work in some soap into the brush. Work it real good, always pulling this way. And then you'll start to see some color come up. You wipe that off and then work some more soap in the brush and then let it sit. And that's this brush right here. Sitting, waiting for redemption. That was the painting on the channel right now, the redemption painting. This is not a redemption painting. This is a, well, in a sense, hey, yeah, you got it already, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You're gapping there, Peter.
Hey, the old bright, not looking at
Cheers, man. Okay, we're just going to use unadulterated burnt umber because this board color is a little different. I had some yellow ochre, which I don't. It's kind of nice to paint on. Don't get me wrong, but what I did was I dumped some of the yellow ochre into my usual rich soil color and give me that, which is nice. It's going to support us. Here, of course, you hope. Well, the drawing was fine. You know, this drawing will be a little different, but we don't worry about that. It's all part of the process. I'd rather have the whole thing recorded because I'm compulsive like that. Some might say obsessive compulsive, but we didn't ask your opinion. I'm not exactly obsessive. Oh yeah, now the whole you'll see in the next easel talk. This whole studio is lighter and more bluish. It's much lighter and more blue. Not being affected here because this is extremely controlled light. That's what I have to do because the sun's coming, going, and I've had the skylight in here forever. I don't want that too low. But yeah, the light's very different in here, except for right here where we're working, and that's all good. It's all good. It's not, from your standpoint of where you're sitting and the table and the camera, if you're comfortable in there, it won't look any different. But if you were to walk in my studio right now, you go, "Whoa! Wow, is this brighter?" A lot brighter. Okay, well I feel good about this underpainting. Let's get going. Now this reference is just collected from somewhere, and maybe it's a screenshot or it's something. Forest. I had a folder called Forest. Slight tilt on that tree. We did a bunch of things to it. This next tree we're going to paint right now. was very close to the edge. Probably painting a little closer to the edge than I should. Right now, I'm going to come over a little. This is my three. I kept it nice for years. Now I'm using it. I've been using it for underpaintings here and there. That's pretty good. And I made the same kind of, I don't want to say error. Error is a kind of tough word. On the first iteration of this underpainting. Which is drawing. That's what it is, my friend. You don't want to get it mixed up. Nice little toe on this brush. Higher than Can say I want a second one there. It's in the reference. Good things in the reference, you want them in your painting. Bad things, no. I don't want that foliage in the center. I don't like that. I want that open up. I'm not bothering to look at the last drawing. I was happy with it. I mean, it wasn't nothing stupendous, but interesting. It's always interesting to see how things change. Of course, what's going on here is the reference and my consciousness, which is different today. I'm not the person I was last. I hate to say. I was touching on that, but you know, because we are conscious in our lives in the present moment. There's a distinct prejudice for that. I believe that's the true and the right way to see things, which usually it is. I mean, come on, you will be in the present. But you got to give your due to the past you, because the past you is already. When I started this statement, that person's in the past. You get what I'm saying? So, getting my point. I mean, usually the things that I'm gauging and judging, the main things will be the same. But we have the painting on the channel right now, which is Whisper of something, Shadows something. I don't remember exactly. And I did say recently in my book. I'm checking my book. I'm working on it. That's what I did yesterday. I did a bunch of that. Worked on some music. But that video on the channel is the result of me basically referring directly to the painting that I wanted another version of, where I did something just like I'm doing now. I had the same reference, but what I did from that reference was very, very different. And a lot of that was because I changed the proportions, which, it was only an inch, but that had a big impact. I changed a lot of things, too many things, in that I lost the quality that I was after. But that happens, not a big deal. Because I was able to save that other painting, and it looks sort of similar, but different. Here I'm looking for an energy flow between all of the. There's not a lot of real darks in this. Perspective trick. And the reference, that's a bunch of nothing. You'll be seeing the reference. You'll see the reference. That's already done. The color mixing's done. So we'll be jumping into the sky here this morning. Danger. This is dangerous, what I'm doing here. There's something in the reference. Like I say, I can get away with that because it's not in the center. But these sorts of things can take on their own kind of reality of wedginess. I need to put something in there, so I'm going to do that. I want to move that tree over. It's easy to do now because it's light. And it'll be easier to clean the swamp. Yeah, that's better. A little over. Got some hills there, but sort of important that they're not real isolated looking. Like that's why I'm bringing that, and that's the reference here is very indistinct, very indistinct indeed. can change things in your painting and your landscape because nature's always shifting. It's good to remember if there's something in the photo that you think you can optimize or make things better, then you should do it, because there might be a time it could look like that. We got lots of doubles. Okay, drawing's done. Oh, I could see I didn't have my little close on mic. That's okay. I've got 3 sources of audio now, so. And normally, the mumbling really starts in earnest once the painting is well underway. So I know I'm speaking a lot more clearly and directly early on in the session. And that's as it should be. At some point, you're just, you set up the situation and you're dealing with all the ramifications of what you set up. So it's not a big deal. Mostly I put the little personal mic on, which is great because it's got 32-bit float, which means it doesn't clip. So you can boost it if you need to. You can be mumbling, giving you my mumbly insights. And big supporter of the channel was very kind. He's a very kind man, and for years he never said anything. And then at some point he's like, "Yeah, you kind of mumble sometimes." I'm like, "Yeah, right, okay, yeah, I know, I got it. I'm trying to adjust for that." Okay. We won't mix with that because I know you don't want to hear the noise. Now I had problems uploading my video to Substack. If you don't know, Substack is really a great place to join up the membership there because you get, and those transcripts have been getting better and better. They're more succinct now. Yeah. It's a challenge with the assistants, but they got worse, but I'm getting better at knowing what the problem is. And my big problem with them is like they're turning this rambling talk into something cohesive, which is great. That's what I want. But sometimes they can get a bit stupid and make shit up, There's my one swear word. All right, let's move you. Okay, the sky I did was just blown out in the reference as it would be. I'm not even going to mess with blue. This is our blue. Okay. And we're going to warm it right up. And the blue is really black. Black in there. I'm not doing the gray. I started with the gray because that Mike's gray is just made from, that's pretty good. Let's go further. It's just made from black and white, right? That's going to go too dark, I think. This is what I'm doing here. I just talked about that in latest easel talk. You will have heard it. It's the easel talk on injecting emotion into your work. And I talk about, you can't just use colors from the tube. You can't just use any of these colors straight up. You got to modify them. But they could get too muddy, too dirty. Then you just bring back in. Now, you just saw me do it. You put it into practice. I started with the gray, and then I adulterated it, and it starts getting real muddy and weird. And I just bring in a little more white and a little more black, and we're right there where we want to be. That's a great color. Yes, I don't need you. Next color. Yeah, so we're bringing in the raw umber, the Mike's gray. In this case, it is almost the whole coloration. A little more cleanness there. I'm going to bring in the yellow ochre now. I use the Mars yellow for the top bit. That's nice. I like that. Yellowy, bluey, sky type tone. It could go definitely brighter. You want to? I know you do. Okay. I didn't really need to mix that, but I did for you. Okay, that's our sky. Now, exercising greens. This is a painting, right? That is like so many pictures you've taken. I do recommend that tip. Write down that tip I gave you with the modifying the basic green photo, just to move things into a little more red and open things up. Okay, let's start with our dark. I'm gonna mess around. I ain't gonna mess around. It's mostly Mars black. All right. Now, this isn't very cool. We have the perylene. I'm going to bring in some of this. There's our dark green. I just know how cool perylene is, so this is going to be overall a warm painting. I still could use more adulteration. This is my mixing red. That's the Winton. It's subtle and it's muddying it a bit, but that muddiness is going to be a desirable trait. It's like, no, it's not enough spread though. Let's put some of this away. My Mike's green is quite dark today, so it was a bit of variance there since I make it myself. Don't come out the two. There we go. You want a bit of a spread. Okay, and we are going to do the alternating green-red trick. Not with this tone. I'm going to start with the, not with the matter. I might do that if it was a cooler sort of approach. Burr number, might screen a little bit. Burnt sienna. Now I need to open that up. Let's put some in there. Okay, I'm never going to get this light without some Mars yellow. That's a little chalky, but that's okay, it won't matter. That's nice, actually. You might say, oh, it's not very red. Okay, I'll agree with you. Put a little cat red in there. I want to have the ability to break things up, move things around, so this is a big secret to dealing with your greens. Alternate. I give you the tips. I give you the tips pretty much for free. Maybe you bought my book. Someone did. I just shipped one to Australia. Nice. Okay, now Mike's green, and because it's a bit dark, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to just use, I think, a little cad yellow. That's an actual green tone. Now we're going to need to bring in some warmth. That's where I want to be. Now, if I wasn't doing the alternating red-green mixture thing, I wouldn't worry about it so much. Okay, from here, not so much a red. We have all this light coming through the trees, so that's pretty good. Maybe more orange. That color there, that's Indian yellow. I did some glazing. I fixed up the painting. The recording was not focused, as is this one is not focused. Is that right? I did it again. Won't matter. You can see the drawing unfocused because you're not even seeing that right now. Damn, did it again. Okay, we don't care. We're gonna keep going. Let's use some Indian yellow. Whoa. That's permanent green light there. Holy cow. I'll keep stepping on it. Okay, we're going to do the path. And I can't believe I did that 2 times in a row. I need to start looking at my checklist. I'm getting cocky. Alright, so we got some path colors. Gonna lean into that for our darks. Not bad, eh? It's a little like, I would say, cherry-ish, right? Needs more. That's not gonna do much. It needs more something. There we go. That's good. That was our underpainting color, which you probably I didn't even show the end. Probably won't show the underpainting now because it's out of focus. That's okay. Whatever. We can't just start the session with the underpainting done. Plenty of underpaintings on the channel. That's what I'm gonna keep telling myself. All right, so that's one, and then we're gonna warm that up. And lighten it. That's like a beach color. So we'll bring that into. There we go. That's pretty good path color, and there's highlights in the path which I ain't gonna mix. So we're done. That's our color mixing. We'll be back after lunch. We're gonna make a painting. Hopefully it'll get recorded. Well, I know it'll be recorded, but we already messed up on the drawing. So sorry. So sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, well, we have our drawing done. At some point, I'm looking at the other drawing. A little different proportions. Nice. Both nice. Both nice. Different. They're different. That's what happened. You won't be able to see the drawing right now, of course, because what you're looking at is a reference image. Hey, now these colors, and you're looking at my palette, right? These colors were mixed with different lighting, and the light in here is more bluish now. I'm gonna warm this up. I don't want it too cool. I want a warmth in this painting. That's what I have in mind. That's probably what it looked like in the other light. Ooh, drying bits, drying bits. That had some umber in it. Yeah, it's not so bad to be checking this out either. Nice, that's what I want. This will get us ahead. Oh, there went the sun, man. All the clouds come in. A bit of the sun this morning. I was hoping I would maybe get some sun at lunchtime. That could happen, but it has that feeling like, yeah. It's cold now. We're having our winter. The winter's kicked in. I don't know what the temperature is. It'd be in Celsius anyway, which... Oh, I could guesstimate in Fahrenheit for you. I guesstimate around 40 degrees. Fahrenheit guesstimate. Where is that in Celsius? Maybe 13, maybe 12, something like that. I think I'd be better at that stuff. I like that. Also, we had the... is this what I want? I wish it was a little rounder. Like, that's what I want. I was going to use this 3, but this is going to be better. About the same width. Look, what got me onto these was these DOS was the, you see the width of the ferrule there. That's a 4, this is a 3, you see? This is longer and going to be a little more, with that taper, I like that better. So, Utrecht, we were considering you, but I'm going to go with the DOS. And in general, for skies and things, I like the DOS better. I'm going to do the sky, and I'm going to go get some lunch. Yeah, this drawing held up. It's good. I do like the drawing from the other bit. Actually, I'll hang on to it. I'll just, be with all the electronic devices stop working. There'll be at least an image of what my drawings look like. We have that from Innis. That is Indian yellow. That's left over for some glazing the other day. Very strong color, not usually on my palette. But it's if I had, it's good to not have infinite colors on your palette, right? I do like the extra warmth that's giving us. Some of that's going to be gold. Most of it, no. Okay, where's my reference without the grid? I have a lot of references in my folder of this kind of scene. I have to say, it's clearly my favorite type of scene. There we go. Nice. Okay. It's a lot more yellow than the reference. Now, one insight that I have, I'm still working on it, is that, if you're looking at the scene, it's covered with this very little actual sky would be unencumbered with some sort of foliage over the top. Yeah, this is going to be sunlight, not sky. Even up there, I'll probably swap some of that out for some sunlight. Anyway, I was going to say, you can do some dishes and dashes and things like that, break things up, and it doesn't have to be with the foliage color, it can be with a darker version of the sky, get it? Yeah, good stuff. I think that's a really great, for me as a painter, it's been a very helpful insight. to do 4 steps, although we'll do that same sort of strokey dashy thing, build up a nice little textural feel. A little brighter down at the bottom. That's pretty subtle, but yeah, too subtle. That's, I was gonna say fine. There we go. A little more payoff there. Okay, let's do the path. Now the path is, we got some colors over there. We're going to do the lightest part of the path for sunlight. I don't usually want things brighter than nothing should be brighter than the sky. And we're going to keep stepping on down, stepping on down. It is nice. I can see the colors on my palette way more clearly, and it's overcast right now, so that's good. That's good. Alright. You're tricked. I felt bad that I didn't use you earlier. I'm going to use you now. Yeah, listening to the... I don't get news, so I don't even know what's going on too much in the world, which is fine. I really don't care too much because Well, I mean, does it affect me? Yeah. I mean, do I pay more for gas because there's some kind of war somewhere? Yeah. But can I do anything about it? No. No, I can't. Oh, you can vote. No, I'm not going to do that. You can vote. I'm not going to hold it against you. I ain't going to vote. I vote out here in New Zealand. I ain't voting in the U.S. So I don't care about that. I want you guys to be healthy and happy, but getting my point, I'm not paying attention to the news because it's taking up valuable brain space that I can use for other things like making my art. You might not think it does, but it does. I can tell you since, well, it was about 2 months ago, I thought I was being good anyway, but completely gave up on news. And it's been a great decision. I highly recommend it. And for a while I was doing other non-easel talks on my other channel, which at some point I might get back into. It wasn't coming off the way I was hoping. Because I want to give people that advice. The news is not your friend. You think it's kind of what it is entertainment, but the problem with it is that to really get your attention dialed in, they gotta crank up the fear, and you don't need it. There's enough things to be fearful about already when everything's going well, right? Enough things you're worried about that you can't control. Just a tip from me. Oh yeah, getting my point. I am getting news. I do get news about the state of the AIs and this Anthropic thing where they come up with this model that is blowing people away. And I do interact with the AI. I don't just sit there and chat with it. I use it to convert these talks to blog posts, and it's been getting better at that. We've been honing in on that, although it got worse, significantly worse first, but now it's gotten better, which is good. One little more gray in here. That's my sky brush. What have I been using my sky brush? Okay. Anyway, getting to my point that might mean something to you as a painter. I already can get the AI to do some incredible art that when I was an illustrator would have taken me weeks, maybe months. Who knows? It's not valuable to compare yourself to what a machine can do that's referencing all the work that's been done by humanity. But what we're doing here now, no machine can do this, even when they get a robot that can paint, because it's us. Reality, my hand, my consciousness inhabiting a body. I did work with this photo. I did use tools, machine-based tools to help me. This photo's got 0 AI in it, but before the AI we had the digital processes. Okay, that's probably enough gray on that palette. Just want a little gray. I'm seeing it in the reference. I'm painting pretty thin too. And there are some of my easel talks where I use the word intrinsically valuable over and over because that's how I feel. I feel that this is intrinsically valuable because it's a one-of-a-kind expression of the universe. in the real world, real painting, real board, real time, non-repeatable. This is the thing. Now, one thing I will say about the AI art, it has a difficult time repeating itself. It can do though. Machines in general are good at doing the same thing over and over, where we as humans, not so much. And the industrial world has forced us to do that kind of thing, be repeatable. Now, unfortunately, we have the machines for that. That's a nice path. I think that's pretty good. It's a bit chunky, it's a bit patchy. I come in with a little different stroke direction. Just to I don't want the path to be the subject. Subject is basically the light up there. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm okay at Dapple Pass. Not as good as some. Good enough. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you don't want to pursue perfection in the long term, but within the paintings itself, you want to allow the expression of the moment to be. What we're doing here is just softening a bit of that expression. It's still there. Quite happy with how this painting is going. Happy we started the drawing over, because that way I'm going to have complete video. I mean, I could just put it up with the drawing done. I don't like that. I like that. That's good. This mass is taking on. I'm always aware. So much what I do is just trying to have things there, but not there, if you know what I mean. Like those leaves. That's good. I think that's good. Okay, we'll be back. We're gonna have some lunch, and we'll be back. And we'll see, God willing, we'll be back. That's the plan. Anyway, see you after lunch. All right, here's an ad for my book. It's 13 years of accumulated painting knowledge, all condensed in one thin volume. All the answers that you were looking for on this channel are in the book. Check it out. I will ship it to you anywhere on the planet for $65 US, and international shipping is included. If you don't have the book... Hello. Back for lunch. Pretty happy with that. I did notice like this... it's a great thing taking little breaks, as long as you don't take a break so long that you're not working. I don't want this so rectangular. I mean, a little variance there I think is good, as well as painting's fun. Great use of time. Okay. That was my path brush. Yeah, I'm thinking the Silver Grand Prix 1 for the Now there's a lot of not a lot of strong darks in the reference. You've had a gander at it now with the color mixing session, right? Not a lot of strong darks, and we probably want to just maintain that. We're going to put them pretty much where I've done them here. And I've already extended them a bit. I have light is coming up here. Normally I'd be dark in the corners, right? Because that's my default, dark in the corners Mike. That's what they call me. That's dark in the corners Mike there. You know him? Yeah. That's good. That didn't dry too much. I mixed these colors 2 days ago. Like I said, I had a good intention of coming in, which didn't materialize. It's okay. Actually, I must say, because if I don't get to paint a certain amount, I get kind of weird. Yesterday I was sort of bored and weird. I was working on the book and doing other things, but I wanted to be painting. There we go. I need to go black all the way there. Nice. Like I said, I'm gonna go too dark. Nice chiselly tip here. It's cool. Flats are cool. Don't get me wrong. I love me a nice flat. Just I find the filbert more useful most of the time these days. And you might wonder why they talk about the brush. Well, the brush, yes, I could make a good painting with whatever brush comes to hand, maybe. But the brush, like the strokes I'm doing, the approaches I'm taking right now, they're determined by the brush. Much like with musicians, you're going to get certain feel with a certain type of guitar. You might be able to play the song with either guitar. This little chiselly strokey thing, and then just a word to reminder for you, always try and link up your darks. You don't want a big polka dot kind of thing going on. Always paint in the middle of the brush. Not always, but if I need it, I can push a little harder. I know I've got some in there. Alright, darks is in. Happy with that. It's looking nice. I agree. Now, what I didn't mention, I did on the first iteration of our underpainting. Oh, you want to see it? See if I can reach in here. Hold on. I'll show it to you. I don't mind. There you go. Good. That one, they're both on the par, pretty much, which is good. Alright, we're going to pause for 1 second. We'll be back. Okay, like I said, I started to say, I said quite a lot about it in the drawing video that was not focused. Greens. I just move from I just change all the greens to golds, a lot of times reds. And there will be reds in this, and it won't be as green as a reference, which I already adjusted mildly, and that's another thing I didn't mention in this recording, is my technique for moving and modifying very, very green reference. I use color balance in whatever program. If you're using Photoshop or Affinity, they both have it. Color balance, I will push it has 3 settings: midtones, highlights, and shadows. I'll push the shadows bluer. I'll push the midtones redder, and I'll push the highlights more yellow. That's a good way to kind of move the painting out of, I've been thinking about this brush. The Utrecht is a good one. It's got a little muddiness in it. I should do it pretty clean. And normally I'd be reaching for my treacle filbert or 2. I feel like this is going to be a good way to go. So I rinsed it out with my jar of soybean oil. Good enough. A little reset with the mixing oil. And we are good to go. Now, buy some greens. Now, when I mixed these, you were there. I did add some like burnt sienna. That's a little bit warm. This whole painting is warm. A little thin in some areas, which is fine. Well, I finished I think I have. I have to get through. I was going to say I finished a new album. This one's been taking a while because I took a big break from music for the book. The challenge there is you're finding the audience. I don't bother you guys. Because you're in it for painting, right? You know, I can blame you. I don't want to blame you and bother you. Well, I was just telling a friend of mine who walked up as I was going to the facilities there. I'm gonna make me a little animation for liking and subscribing. And I think I miss out on people that would subscribe and. Just through not asking, and the reason I don't like to grub, but I don't think that'd be grubbing, especially if I don't have to remember to do it. Okay, down here I've got my red. Let's put some in here. This brush has been great. I'm loving it. These tricks are great, no question. And the 3 was a big go-to for me for a long time. That's cad red for you. Take over the show, but I want a deeper, darker red. So a little more black, a little more this and that. Real business. Yeah, watching an interesting video at lunch about band Rush and Neil Peart, the drummer, and the old guy's now in the 70s or whatever. Yeah, 10 years older than me, right? And Peart died 10 years ago or so, 11. And he was, a lot of times for a long time considered, the greatest rock drummer. And maybe by some, I don't know. I'm not qualified to say who's the greatest, but he was known. And now this lady they have playing his parts is, the video was called, her name's Anita. Is Anita a better drummer than Neil Peart? And the answer is yes, but with caveats, right? Because and they're getting to the point you'll care about, I hope. Standing on the shoulders of giants, right? That's the point. She's come up in a world where Neil Peart changed things, and that got me thinking about painting. It's the same, I come up in a world where George Ennis changed things. Constable changed things. So can you say a better painter? Well, I would never claim to be a better painter than George. But I definitely stand on his shoulders, you know what I mean? And those coming along, those who watch my videos, they'll be standing on mine. Just getting that red in there, change things up a little. Okay, next the real green. Sorry for the chainsaw noise. They've got some pallets that have been sitting there. I guess they're going to burn them. Now right now, you're looking at that saying, I thought you said this paint gonna be green, Mac. Yeah, well, I did. And it will be. Starting now. I see why it makes that liner. Yeah, it needs some more spread. Okay. Similar value to the board, that's nice. What's going to make this is when these brights come in. Well, we're working up to it. I am enjoying painting on this board color, though slightly more goldy yellow. Are you losing a hair? No. No, these are your tricks. They're not that kind of brush like your DOS. Although I have to say the DOS could be way more sheddy than they are. I'll give them some credit. That's a great thing about it. So with the filberts, you got the toe. You got the part I'd be doing now is more of a bevel. Here we've got the corner, which acts like a smaller brush. That was my technique for ages, and it's still my technique to some degree. I'm very much a corner of the brush kind of guy. Hopefully you see the green story coming together. Supported by the reds. The reds give us variety. If you try and pull off this painting with nothing but greens, you might. I'm not saying you won't. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this is bringing it brings more interest. Green. See? Oh yeah. That's what I was trying to do over here. A little bit. Okay. Now in the back I'd already thought of laying in a little bit of this and that, but this is going to be my dark in the back, maybe with a little slight adulteration, because that is back there is really brightly lit. A little gray too, a little gray in that. That's my shadow color there. A little bit of gray. I don't like that. Like that's sitting right here. That's not good. Try to get rid of that. Oh, it's not the end of the world. There we go. Just a little too cool. That's going to be way brighter. That's just kind of some under things for that. Way brighter. Like out of a value similar to the path there. Okay. This is my way lately. A little bit of blending before I come in with those highlights, the highlight greens. Little 2 stages, bright and then super bright. I did mute that a bit, but I think that's a good call. It's a lot, mostly orange. I want to get a little more. Hey, hey, hey. What? What's he doing? Yeah, you'll see, you'll see, you'll see. We got light. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna knock that back a little. I don't want it more bright or intense than the sky. At least not yet. There we go. I'm liking that. Happy with that. That's board color. Remember I said when we're doing the sky, a lot of this is supposed to be not sky, even this stuff. Gonna paint over it. This brush is doing an amazing job, I have to say. Super stoked. Now some of that's going to need to be smoothed in. Okay, a bit of the smoothing operation. A couple of ways we go. We're wiping off the brush real good. I'm going to choose this brush. You know, lots of times you see me use a bigger brush. just keeps the strokes from feeling like they're laying on top. Now they're essentially behind. Nice. We're getting close to done too, really. I mean, right. Greens. See? Yeah, oh yeah, the other thing is I did originally had this designed for, I was going to do a 3.5 by 5, and just came out looking pretty cool, the reference. I thought, no, I'm going to need to open this up. I want to do this 6 by 8. It's big enough I can get in there and do some cool things. Not that, you know, you can't with 3 by 5, but it's definitely harder. Okay, it's a big highlight. And we may need to go a little brighter on the sky. I don't think it's brighter than the sky, but if it is, we'll take the sky a notch brighter. See that? And there's a lot more cat yellowy feel in the reference. Even a bit more green. It's almost too bright. It's too bright. There we go, it's fine. idea is not to go over everything. I just painted with this light color, just a few notes here and there. No, I added the white there, not so much because I wanted it brighter. I just wanted it a little more muted, not as saturated. looking in the camera now. I'm really happy with this painting. That's very strong, and I'm so glad I decided to redo the. I'm just thinking to make a nicer video, so I burned a board and created an artifact. Alright, we need to blend that in. I do think our sky's pretty bright. It might be good to bring in a few more notes of white, or light, just to wrap it up. I'm going to smooth this in a little better. Like areas like this, where it's just laying there. Smooth, but don't over smooth. Oh, we need to touch things up with a little more black as well. Oops, that's very strong. Yeah, sky now. One more sky. Brighter. Yes. Just a little. This will help with the that bright yellow feel. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. A little smoothing. We're going to use the white brush, but we're going to wipe it off for a while. Maybe we're going to grab it up. Fresh paper towel, just make sure we get it all off. And, oh yeah, a little more with the blacks, just a few touch-ups. I'm going to chase all those little bits around. Oh, I could bring another color into the trees. I ain't gonna. I don't want that. I don't think I need to. 212, that's good. Dogs will be ecstatic. Because they want their walk. I've been sitting there waiting. Not that long. I got here an hour and a half ago. So. I like this painting. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me make it. I'll come back real soon with another one. Hopefully for your edification and enjoyment. Do me a favor. Taking care of yourself, your family, everyone you love. And stay out of trouble.